For the next job on the SRX, well, it's more of an experiment and less of a job. You see, online, I found this thing called the water trick for getting your primary clutch off. And what it does is use compressed water to pop that thing off, or uses that compressed water for those times you don't have the proper clutch tool to get it off. Seems to work, so I want to try it. First, I wanted to talk about why clutches are so hard to get off, and it's because of this taper right here. There's one on the end of the crank, and there's a corresponding one on the inside of the primary clutch. Now, there is a bolt holding it together, but it's just the taper and the taper alone that's transferring all the power from the engine into the drive system. There's no spline, there's no keyway, it's just the taper. Even with the bolt removed, you can't break the two tapers apart by hand. You need something mechanical to push them apart, like this removal tool. Now, there's tools available for every combination out there. They're also inexpensive, but you do have to have one on hand. They work by bottoming out the crank's bolt hole and then forcing the clutch off as they thread into the center bore of the primary clutch. It's this mechanical forcing apart that pops the clutch off the engine. Now, to show you just how hard a taper can hold, come to the lathe. Inside the tailstock, there is a taper in here that holds a tool with a corresponding taper to it. Now, to insert it with just a light little bit of pressure, I can't get that thing out of there. And just like a snowmobile clutch, there's no spline or keyway holding it in place. It's just the taper. Now, to get this out of there, again, it's mechanical. There's a push rod in here. Let's back that off. Push rod hits, taper comes apart. Here is where the water trick comes into play, and this is how it goes. First, you'll need a bolt that'll thread into the primary clutch only. Then you need to wrap the threads in Teflon tape to make sure you form a watertight seal. Next, get the sled on its side. Next, take the bolt out. Then, fill the hole with water. That's full. Then, thread the bolt into the hole, trapping some water inside. Then, tighten the bolt to build pressure. And there we go. It's science. It works.